All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming out to Science Fair this afternoon. My name is Michelle Pathay, and if you don't know me, I'm on the community team here at Flatiron School's New York City campus, and I'm super excited to be here this afternoon with our September software engineering cohort, who will be presenting their final projects this afternoon. So just a quick run of show before I pass the mic over to our instructional team. We've got 24 amazing presentations lined up for you all. Everyone's gonna go through. They'll have a few minutes to walk us through their apps and their projects that they've been working on so very hard for the last few weeks. And there will be time for some Q&A at the end of each presentation. So if you do want to ask any questions, use the Q&A button that should be down at the bottom or the top of your Zoom window, and we'll do our best to get to as many questions as possible. The chat will also be open on the sidebar. If you do want to cheer any folks on, send them some wishes, and I think we're going to have a good time over the next 2 hours. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to our software engineering coaches, Chase and Annie.
Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Annie, and I am one of the software engineering coaches here for this cohort along with Chase. Thank you all so much for joining us today for the Science Fair. Over the last couple of weeks, each member of this cohort, the Blank Canvases, has worked so hard on their applications, and we are extremely proud of how much they've grown as developers. I am so happy that they get to showcase their projects to all of you. Chase?
Yeah, I'm the other one, the other coach. Thank you, Annie. I'm so proud of this group. They've worked so hard. It's been a wild 15 weeks, lots of ups and downs, and this is the culmination of all of their hard work. These were not developers 15 weeks ago, and they are developers now. And I'm just blown away by the range of creativity and energy and passion they put into every single one of these projects. So with that, Annie, back to you.
Cool. Without further ado, our first presenter is Matthew Kirby.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matthew Kirby, and I just want to thank all my fellow coders, the instructors and the coaches, and my partner Hillary, who supported me for the last 3 months. You guys are great. I love you all. And this is my app. My app is called the Gloomhaven Ledger. It is a digital character creation app for the board game Gloomhaven to help streamline the campaign setup process and get players into the game kind of as fast as possible. It's built on a Ruby on Rails API backend with a React Redux front end and semantic UI for styling. Once a user signs up, they're able to create and manage their campaigns, their parties, their characters. When they create a campaign, they'll be able to form multiple adventuring parties within that campaign and add characters to each of those parties. From your profile, you can view all of your campaigns, your parties, and your characters. To view your campaigns, you can see the date that you started your campaign. You can see the role that you have in that campaign, whether you're the owner of the campaign or a player. You can also view all of your parties. So you can view a little bit of a snapshot of details about the campaign the party's in, the last scenario that they finished, and you can get a quick little snapshot of the characters that are within those parties. And then you can view all of your characters. It's another little snapshot here. You can see your character's level, your XP, your gold. And if you want to view more details about a character, you can visit a character's page. From a character page, you can see the notes on a character that you saved. You can see the backstory of that character class. You can track the perks that you unlock as you're playing through the campaign. And you can track your battle goal check marks that you earn as you're playing different scenarios throughout the game. So say you finished a scenario, you can come in here and you can say, well, I got another check mark. I got a little bit more experience, and I got some more gold. And you can update your character and track it throughout. If you want to view some more details about the party that character's in, you can click over to the party view and you can see the different characters that are active in that campaign currently, and you can see the inactive characters that are not currently playing. If you want to see more details about the campaign that those parties and characters are in, you can view the campaign overview page that shows the different players within that campaign, the different parties that you've created in that campaign, and some of the characters that you've retired throughout the time you've been playing. One of the favorite things that I really enjoyed building was this breadcrumb menu, where you can kind of it follows you and dynamically generates the links throughout the site to bring you back to where you were. And once you are ready to start playing the game, you can jump back over to the main page where you can select the campaign that you want to play and the party you want to play, and you can look over the map, and you can choose scenarios, and you can mark different scenarios as unlocked and if you've completed them. And that's my app. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Matt. Given more time and in phase 6, what do you plan on adding to it, or what are the next stretch goals you have in mind?
I would really like to get like an item shop implemented with all of the items in the game. But I think there's something like 300 plus items. So it's not something that I focused on for the final project, but that would be a really cool aspect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. If you have any other questions for Matt, please put them in the chat. And thank you again. Next up, we have Mary Dick.
Hi, everyone. My name's Mary, and my app is called Pocket Dudes. It's an app basically where you can adopt a virtual pet and take care of it and earn points by playing games to spend money and buy items and food for it to take care of it. I built this on a Rails API backend with Postgres database, as well as a React and React Redux front end. And I used custom CSS for the styling. Yeah, it was heavily inspired by Neopets, Webkins, Tamagotchi, all the types of games that I really loved as a kid. So let's adopt a pet together. How about? So these are the options. And I think I'm gonna do this one because it's kind of my favorite. I'm gonna name it Beepo. All right. So I actually already adopted a pet and it did not go well. My pet died. So, so now I have another pet, which I'm gonna make sure it does not die. That's the goal. But things happen, not quite prepared for the responsibility of a pet, but now I am. I think I'm ready. So Beepo, we will keep you alive. But I don't have any points, so I can't buy any items to keep it alive, which means we gotta play a game. And if you're not familiar with Snake, it's a game where you collect apples. You're a snake and you eat apples and you get longer every time you eat one. And yeah, it's a pretty fun, simple game. And yeah, my high score is pretty low because I'm not very good at it, but doing my best. And the point system works like every time you increase your high score, you are able to collect points. So right now my high score is 16. I can end the game and collect 48 points, which is 3 times the high score. If I went back and played again, I would not be able to collect points until I have increased the high score. So now that we have some points, we can afford to buy some items. So let's get some food. So we'll get a cookie, some sushi, maybe some chicken or cherry. And then we'll go and get a couple of toys. Right now, because I didn't have a ton of time to play, I don't have enough for a lot, but I can afford enough to keep my pet somewhat happy and pretty well fed. So, yep, as you can see, he's pretty happy, not too bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Awesome, nicely done, Mary. I love this. One question is, what did you find the most challenging when building your application?
Sure. Honestly, there are a lot of things going on in the back in the code. Every time I click one of those buttons, many requests go through to the database, and that took a long time to get down. I ended up locking up my database repeatedly and spent just so much time trying to figure out how to make it a little bit more clean and less, all at once at the same time. And I was able to do that eventually, but that was definitely the most difficult part, and it did hinder my ability to make progress in other areas.
Awesome. If you have any more questions for Mary, please drop them in the chat. And next up, we have Nicholas Ho.
So my project is hold on, it's I don't know about all my other cohort mates, but I haven't worked out since we started this boot camp 3 months ago. So like I've kind of gotten out of shape. So I decided to make this app to maybe get back into shape after while we're on the job search. And so I use the Rails backend and React front end. And so let's get into the app. So you have a login page that forwards you to the homepage. And then so for each element you could create a routine, and then there's different workouts for the routine, and it has the reps and a description, and then like a visual aid showing you how to do the workouts. So let's create a new routine. Let's say I want to do cardio because I want to lose weight, I guess. And so I guess it's 5. So the new routines created over here, and you could add new routines. So maybe let's add this, and it appears. And let's do some jump rope and some jumping jacks. And yes, but if like maybe bench press isn't really cardio, so you don't want it, you could delete it. And then once you're done with the routine and maybe you want to change it up, you could change it and delete it, and it would remove it from the app too. And yeah, that's my app.
Thank you so much, Nick, getting us to move a little. What was your favorite part about making the app?
My favorite part of the app was basically like linking everything together and figuring out how to because like it's basically a one-page app, so I had to find a way to like make everything load seamlessly on the one page. So that was pretty interesting.
You clearly nailed it. So great job on that. What's something that you'd like to add, give them one more time, or something you do in phase 6?
Well, originally I wanted to make it like users to be able to look at each other's apps and stuff, but I think I'm not experienced enough yet. So maybe further on, I would want to add users to it, and so they could look at each other's and like comment on each other's workouts or routines. Yeah.
Nice. Definitely a nice social media concept there. Well, thank you so much, Nick. Next up, we have Sisan Agbeyegbe.
Hi, everyone. Okay, let me just share my screen. So first off, I want to start off by thanking all of the coaches and instructors in this amazingly supportive cohort that I was fortunate enough to find myself in. Again, my name is Sisan Agbeyegbe, and this is my application, Traverse. Traverse is built with a Rails backend, React on the front end, and Redux for state management. And I use Semantic UI, Bootstrap, some custom CSS, and React Planet for styling. So I'm sure we've all had trouble tracking the moving parts of a trip or even figuring out where we'd like to go on vacation. And that was the motivation behind creating Traverse. Traverse is an all-inclusive traveling application that takes care of all the booking and allows the user to review destinations in a social media format. So normally once you get to the page, this is where you would land. But for the sake of time, I've already logged us in. So let's take a gander to the home page. So here a user can look at all of the, this is essentially their feed, so they can take a look at everyone's reviews as well as the trips that people are taking. So let's head over to our destinations. So first we can scroll through and take a look at all of our locations, or if we know exactly where we'd like to go, we can pick a specific location. So now let's take a look at Tahiti. Okay, so Tahiti, we can take a look at all of the reviews that this location has, and let's book a trip to Tahiti. So I don't know about everyone else, but this this coding bootcamp has been incredibly stressful, and I would love to take a break right after graduation. So let's book this trip. And now that our trip is booked, we'll get a confirmation email sent to us soon. So now we can head over to our user profile. And this is not actually our profile. Just give me 1 second. Well, in any case, here we are. So here you can take a look at my bio, all of my profile information, as well as all of the reviews that I've created and the trips that I have been on. And we can see that newest trip that I booked right here in Tahiti. Let's say I've already been to Tahiti. I want to add a review, and it was amazing. I'm gonna give it 5 stars because it was awesome. Good. Okay, so I can see my review here, but if for some reason I'm not a fan of this review, I can always delete it. And going back to my profile, we can take a look at who I'm following. So I'm currently following 3 users, and only one of them is following me back. So let's take a look at their profile and see what they're doing. So we can see all of their information, as well as all the reviews that they have created and the trips that they have been on. And that is everything for my application. Thank you all for watching. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much, CSUN. I could definitely use the trip right now. Josh asks, where did you get some of the seed data from?
So it's either Faker or like all created by myself.
Awesome. I have a question. What are the next steps for this application? How would you like to grow it?
I would like to increase like the user interaction functions. So I would like to include a chat and perhaps enable users to comment on others' reviews or the trips that they've taken.
Awesome. Nicely done. Let's give it up for CSUN. And next up, we have Arthur Wilton.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Arthur Wilton, and my app is called PIM, the Personal Inventory Manager. So the idea behind this application came to me when I was trying to organize a lot of video production tools that I have. So I have a lot of cables, SD cards, hard drives. There's hundreds of items that you have to have when you're in video production, and I couldn't find half the items where I put them in bins, and I wanted a way to search through my items without actually having to unearth like 50 different cables to find where something actually is. So that's where I got the idea for this application. So the main thing is that there are items. You can see I have some recent items that I've added to my inventory here. And all of these, you can actually click on them and see some information about the item. Then items can be organized into containers. So like where you want to put your container. You can have anything from like a bin to a room to a closet. So there's multiple options there. And then each item would have a category such as sports, video games, tools, audio, video equipment in my case. And everything you'll notice is searchable. So that the first thing you want to do when you come into an app like this is, okay, like where's this thing that I want to find? So I want to find, okay, golf balls that I just bought. So I go in here, I search for golf balls, and I click on the item. Now I might want to edit it to add some notes here. So here I might say, don't lose these in the woods because they're pretty expensive. Make no promises on that, but I'll try. So I can save the changes, and there I have my item. But maybe say I actually did lose all these in the woods. I don't have them anymore. Go delete that item. no longer on my list of items. And then I can go back to here. Say I want to add a new item. I got something new. I'm going to go to the Add tab. So, and you can add an item, a category, or a container, depending on your needs at the time. So I'm just going to add an item here. So the first thing I want to do, you can take a photo with the camera, or you can upload a photo. So I'm going to upload. Say I'm getting a USB-C cable. So USB-C cable here. I can do description, notes. I can add a barcode to it. I'm going to say that it's in bin 1 and it's electronics. So I'm going to save that. It's going to be added to my new items. And if I go back to the home page, you'll see it's now in my recent items on the top where I can go and find it. So then the main point of this app really is to find something without having to actually go into a bin. So I added a function where if you print your own barcodes or QR codes, you can actually go to this option, add this. Nope, there we go. You can scan the QR code. It will recognize the code that is tied to the barcode or QR code, and it will automatically find that container. So now I can go and click search for items in that container, and it will take me to all the items in there. So you can see I have my USB cable there. I have a lot of other items, and then I can go and click on that and do what I need with it. So that is PIM, the Personal Inventory Manager, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Nice, Arthur. I just moved. I could use this. We've got some questions in the Q&A. You demonstrated this with Xcode iOS emulator?
This is actually Android Studio. So this is a Pixel 2 phone that I spun up on. I believe it's version 29 of the API.
And next question has to do with React Native. What was it like working with React Native, and how was it, in terms of, obviously you have a foundation in React, so how's it translating?
So yeah, React Native was a challenge at first because you have to kind of change the way you think about how you organize your app. It's more screen based, and then there's also the fact that you're trying to make it compatible with iOS and Android. So there's a lot of settings that you have to really look into, and there was a lot more Googling than I thought that I would have to do. But I learned a lot about how Android and iOS actually work independently of React itself. So that was very cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Arthur. If you have any other questions for Arthur, put them in the chat. And next up, we have Ajax Zaire.
One second, guys. Okay. Hi, everybody. First, I want to thank my friends and family for being my support system. And I want to also thank the greatest cohort in the world and the coaches. These 3 months with you guys have made a terrible year like 2020 even better. Well, not as terrible. Well, my name is Ajax again, and my app is called Opinionated. It's built with a Rails API backend using action cables and WebSockets to allow for real-time messaging. It's built with the React front end using Redux for state management and semantic UI for styling. So I created this app. So it's an app where users can post their opinions and allow other users to vote on whether they agree or disagree. I wanted to create this because I feel like it's human nature to judge other people's point of views. And since a lot of the times those judgments are really unsolicited, I thought it'd be great to have a platform for people who intentionally ask for those judgments. So when you first log in, you're taken to the Explore page. And in this page is a page of all the comments posted by all the users. And they're sectioned off by 4 categories. Each opinion has whether more users agree or disagree with them. Red is majority disagree, green majority agree, and gray it's an even split. So when I go to the home page, I don't have anything yet because I'm not following any categories. So this prompts me to go back to my explore page and follow a few. So I'm really interested right now in tech, culture, and entertainment. So when I go back to my homepage, it has all the opinions that I'm interested in. So I'm gonna go to my profile, and I've posted I've posted 2 opinions so far. This one, it looks a little bit messy, so I'm going to just remove it real quick because I don't know what it is. And I'm left with one. So someone already disagreed with my opinion that shrimp is not as good as they think it is. I'm gonna edit that so I can be more specific. I'm gonna say shrimp is trash, just so they know. And yeah, so I'm gonna go back to my explore page. And this really stands out to me because someone said Beyonce is overrated, and I'm a pretty big Beyonce fan. So I'm gonna have to disagree with that, you know? And since they're clearly wrong, I'm gonna have to let them know. So I can also go to this user's profile and see like who they're following and everything. But I wanna actually message them and tell them that I clearly disagree. So I'm gonna tell them Beyonce is actually underrated. So that sends a message. And since I'm using action cables and WebSockets, I can actually open a different server and reply from there. So I'm gonna reply if you say so. And it shows up here. And that is pretty much it. That's my app.
Very nicely done,
Any
AJ.
questions?
I love the concept behind it. We have a couple of people that have been commenting on how much they love the styling. How did you go about that? Ajax?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What was it?
Oh, sorry. A lot of people have commented on how much they love the styling. How did you go about implementing that?
So I used semantic UI, and that made it really easier to do the styling because CSS is a little bit tricky sometimes, but semantic UI has all the components that like make everything pretty much easier.
Cool. Another question is, what was working with WebSockets like?
It was really difficult. I literally stayed up, like I was working on it from 11 a.m. until like 10 a.m. the next day. I didn't sleep or anything because I was just so like confused because I didn't use React hooks. I was using just regular class components, and all the documentation were using like hooks, and I had to like try to like do it backwards. But eventually I got it and it worked out pretty well.
Awesome. Your efforts definitely paid off. So congrats on that. Next up, we have Billy Ott.
Hey, everyone. All right. Okay. Hi, I'm Billy Ott, and my app is called 12 Months. 12 Months is a minimalist daily journaling app that allows users to log any notes associated with their day. It also allows them to track any habits they want to implement in their lives, as well as assign a mood score for the day on a scale of 1 to 10, and track how much sleep they got the night before. It's kind of like bullet journaling if you're familiar with that concept. In terms of the tech stack, the backend is built on a Ruby on Rails API, and the front end is built in React.js. Global state is managed with React Redux. And then for styling, most of it is custom CSS with a little bit of semantic UI. Okay, so here is the login page. I'm gonna go ahead and log in with my credentials. When you log in, you're brought to the home page right here. Very quickly for the navigation, in the header, the icon will actually bring you right back to this page wherever you are. Clicking the logout button will log you out and bring you right back to the login page that we were just on. And clicking the hamburger icon over here will open up the nav bar, and you can go to the various parts of the site from the links here. Cool. So in the center here, we have sort of like a view of what's going on today. And underneath of that are some cards that show just like a high level summary of what happened in the last couple days. So on the left side of the card, we have the notes that the user has tracked for today. On the right side, we have checkboxes for each of the habits they want to start doing, and a section to log their mood and sleep. So let's go ahead and create a new thought. So this is a new thought. So we'll categorize that, and it appears right here at the bottom. If we wanted to make an edit, we do that, edit. Cool, but I'm not feeling that comment like altogether. I don't really want to remember what I wrote there. I'm just going to delete it altogether, and it's gone. I can also, of course, check off my habits. I've definitely practiced piano today. I'm super good at it now. And I'm feeling like a 10, actually, because this presentation is going super well so far. So I'm going to update the mood rating for today. If you wanted to check on a different day, like one of the more recent ones, you're taken to a view like this if you click on one of the cards. And same functionality as we just looked at, but you can actually toggle between the various days. And you know where you are, obviously from here, but in the URL, it's logged as well. If you wanted to see all the days, you go to like a more calendar style view by clicking the all days link, and you can kind of just hop around very quickly. We can go back in the past by updating the filters as well. And that's last month. All right. We can also manage the habits that we have. So right here, here's the 5 that I'm trying to implement in my life. So let's just say there's a new one I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, and it's added. But let's say I'm done with Japanese. I feel like I'm proficient in it. I'm definitely not, but we're going to archive it because I'm done practicing. We can actually toggle between the different habits, different habit categories, excuse me, and you can see the ones that I've archived. So actually, let's say I want to go to bed earlier now, so I'm going to archive that. Doing that will actually affect what you see in your day card. So here's my new habits that I've updated. If you want to see like sort of like a visual representation of the metrics that you're tracking about your life, you can go to the mood and sleep trends area, and this is like a just interactive line chart for those 2 metrics. So let's go ahead and get a wider date range. It defaults by month to date, but you can go as far back as you'd like, and you can change the aggregation. So I'm going to go ahead and aggregate the data by week. We'll just give me an average. So here's my week over week mood and sleep. Pretty great. You can actually also do by year or month over month if you want, but I'm gonna go do day again, just to get a little bit more data. And you can see that I've had a pretty chaotic last few weeks. I think a lot of people can probably say the same. So if you want to actually manipulate this data yourself, you can go and export the data to a CSV. And here's our raw data. So you can track all that and go do whatever you want, maybe a data science project. And finally, the My Account page is pretty straightforward, but if you wanted to go ahead and update the details for your account, you could do that. So let's say I want to update my username. It's reflected here, and you can see the change reflected here as well. And that's my app.
Wow, nice job, Billy. I have a question. What did you do to display the data? Is it an extension?
Yeah, actually, so the data visualization I'm assuming you're talking about, that's, I utilized a library called Nevo. They have a lot of great charts that you can just kind of like drag and drop your data in. So I did a little bit of data manipulation on my side and then some tweaking for their component.
And what are the next steps with your app? What do you want to do in phase 6?
The next step is I actually in the back end built in like a favorites column for the notes. So the next immediate idea that I had was like, okay, so I don't want to have to like hop between all the days to grab like all my notes from the past. I just favorite the ones that I really want to look at like in one place, like, oh, that's a really good thought. And then a user could just go in one place and grab them all.
And of course, use it for data structures and algorithm practice as well. Sure.
Yeah, obviously.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Billy. If you have any other more questions for Billy, please put them in the chat. And next up, we have Liam Hanafea Reyes.
Hello, everyone. All right, so my name is Liam, and before going to Flatiron School, well, before the pandemic started, I was a bartender. So that is what led me to make Tender. It's an app that allows you to keep track of the ingredients that you have in your home bar and lets you know what drinks you can make with them. So the tech stack is a React front end with Redux for global state management, and a Rails API backend with semantic UI for styling. So we'll go ahead and log in. And here we can see a list of a bunch of different cocktails. We can search by name here. So let's see, I really like Mai Tais. Yeah, so we'll save that. And yeah, let's learn more about it too. So here we can see some information about it, a category, a recommended glass, the ice you should use, as well as garnish, the recipe. And this section shows you, well, sorry, the recipe is more instructions. And then this is like the actual list of ingredients, and it'll tell you whether you have these ingredients or not. So if we go back to, also these are all sorted by how many ingredients you are missing. So let's go find some ingredients. These are sorted by how many cocktails are in. So as you can see, there's lime juice and a lot of stuff. So I probably want that. Get some bourbon, simple syrup, and chartreuse is expensive. So we'll put that on the shopping list. Some orgeat, maybe mint for later. And more chartreuse. All right, so now let's take a look at our ingredients. Cool, so from here, you know, I just checked and I'm actually out of tequila, so I'm gonna remove that. And now let's go back and see at the bottom of the page, we still can't make any cocktails. So let's see. Oh, so we're just missing one ingredient for an old fashioned, so that's great. Yeah, that's the one. And now when we go back, we see that possible cocktails has been updated. So I really like that one. Let's take a look at, and I'm going to save it. So let's take a look at our saved cocktails. Okay, so we have all this stuff. And I really like this, but I think it was a little bit too sweet. So I'm just going to go ahead and say less sugar here. And there we have it posted. And yep, that is about all. So thank you so much for listening.
Awesome job, Liam. A bunch of people have commented on how sleek your layout was and the UI. And someone asked, how was it learning semantic UI?
Semantic UI was actually really easy to pick up, which is pretty cool. There's a couple like convention things, but once you get used to reading the documentation and like understand some of the common props, it's pretty easy. The tricky part is if you do want to do custom CSS, sometimes the classes override each other, so you have to be a little bit careful with that.
Cool. So what are the next steps for this application? How would you like to grow it?
So one thing that I was trying to implement was on the back end, I actually had each ingredient and cocktail has like a quantity. So the idea was that eventually you'd be able to, you know, press a button that would say like make cocktail or something, and it would just automatically update all the ingredients that you have, and sort of warn you when you were running low and stuff like that. So that would be the next step.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liam. Next up, we have Chloe Chang.
Hi, everyone. Can't see you, but hello. So my name is Chloe, and this is my app, Racket. It was created with Rails backend and React front end. So at Racket, we believe that kindness makes makes the world go round. And that a little bit goes a long way. So these are kind of the steps that you would utilize this app. You would select a kindness act, and then you would select the time frame provided, and then you will carry on with your life. Our job here is that we will randomly send you a gentle reminder within the time frame that you have indicated. We believe that kindness is never a plan, but a practice. However, sometimes life does get in the way of our random nice thoughts, our best intentions, or our efforts. And so we're here to help when you least expect it. So let's begin. So this is our categories page, and this is the list of random acts of kindness that you can schedule. They are actually split into 4 different categories, one for yourself, one for friend, one for partner, and one for strangers. And here you can actually search to make things easier to look at. So nap. And here you go. Take a nap for yourself because health is wealth. So you will say, remind me, and you can pick within 3 time frames. This week is from the day that you pick to the next 7 days. Next week is 7 days from the week and then the one after. And then you can also pick this month, which is within the next 30 days. So I'm going to pick this week, and you can confirm, and it'll give you a little all set confirmation, and you will just randomly get a nice little alert and reminder to take a nap. You can also look at your history and see all the random acts of kindness that you have been reminded of. You can also search once again, or also mark them as completed or not, which is also okay. And that is my app. Thank you.
Nice, Chloe. Lots of comments on the styling and the logo. Can you tell us more about that? What your process was?
So my eyes were definitely a lot bigger than my skills. CSS is actually not as, it's fun, but it's definitely more tedious. So I designed them through Canva, and it was kind of just like a little idea here and there. And then I did take some inspiration from their templates, but then kind of went off on my own. And then from their homepage, so that was where the struggle was. Like I couldn't get it to look how I wanted to. So I created 3 large pages and then just added them in. And then that's really it. That was how it looked. And then I think the top where the like home categories and history buttons, those I was able to do some Google search and then some tweaking to figure it out.
Well, whatever it is, it looked fantastic. Final product. And what's the next step with your app? What do you want to add to it?
So next step is actually figuring out like timing wise with notifications. And if, I decide to keep going, I think a really stretch goal would, be integrating actually nonprofits and setting up like random payments that you don't really have to think about to like a certain limit that you would like to pay to. So that's the goal.
Well, love that idea. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Sanjit Liu.
Hi, everyone. Let me share my screen. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sanjit Liu. Welcome to my app. It's called Tryptophan, your one-stop shop for all your sleep-inducing fast food needs. Basically, it is an online food ordering site where you can pick from a variety of restaurants. This is my homepage, as you can see here. We'll click through our first image, and you'll get a list of restaurants that have been pre-approved to be delivered to you. You have price range, cuisines for each one of these restaurants, and a rating, a star rating, based on how many reviews these restaurants have. You can also search these restaurants through here. So it's an active search, and then you can find out, if you want Taco Bell. And if you click into Taco Bell or any of the restaurants, you'll get a brief description, address, phone number, and a nice little menu selection of all of their items. And each one of these items, you can, if you want it directly, you can add to cart, or if you want to see a nice enlarged photo, you can click into the item and also add to cart. And let's say I want a little bit more than just tacos. I want some McDonald's as well. As you can see, you get an enlarged picture here. And you can also add to cart. And you will have your cart listed over here on your right-hand side. It'll tell you how many items you have, the pricing for each. You can also remove items. Maybe not feeling so much for tacos. I want to add, let's say, some honey sesame chicken breast. I'm gonna add that. So I'm getting one item from each restaurant, total cost of $20. I'm gonna go to my checkout page. And here I'm going to fill in some of my shipping information, my credit card information. And I'm just using a fake credit card right now. You can fill it in, 2023, and you submit an order. And it'll say, thank you for your order, your food is on the way. And then you will be redirected back to the home page, and your cart will be empty. And now you can go to your order history. You can see previously I ordered some pizza, or a lot of pizza. And this is the order that we just made with McDonald's, Taco Bell, and McDonald's, Panda Express. And that is my app, Tryptophan, online ordering for food.
Very nicely done, Sanjad. I could definitely use some Pizza Hut right now. Someone asked, where did you get your restaurant/food information? And they also love your CSS animation.
Thank you. For the restaurant information, I actually had to scrape the data myself. In future iterations, I hope to use an API where I can pull all the information I need. I attempted to use a couple of different APIs, but they were all very, how would I say, they would give you some information and not some others. So I would be able to get only the restaurants, but no photos, or I was able to get photos, but no menu items. So hopefully I can find a more complete API where I can just fully pull all the information without doing web scraping on that. And for the animations, a lot of manual CSS styling, some semantic UI, and yeah, you're probably like the zoom function with React UI.
Cool. What was your favorite feature, and what was it like implementing it?
My favorite feature would probably be all of the animations, and I didn't show it, but as you enlarge and close the screen, I don't know if I can share real quick. As you increase and decrease your screen size, your elements automatically scale. And that took a little bit of CSS magic to get working.
Awesome, very nicely done. Let's give it up for Sanjay. And next up, we have Jacqueline Lowe.
Hi everyone, I'm Jacqueline Lowe, and this is my app Trackit. Trackit helps those like freelancers, independent contractors, anyone who needs help tracking their projects, from how much they've earned to the hours they've worked and the progress of their project. Trackit is a Rails backend React Redux frontend application. I used Semantic UI React to style this, and I'm going to start by just logging in. So on the home page, you'll now see a chart at the top showing the total amounts earned for our top 5 highest earning clients. These amounts are also broken out by the total amounts earned from completed projects and amounts earned from incomplete projects. Below that, you'll also find a list of projects that are still in progress. So these represent the amounts in the light blue section in the above chart. We can also update these projects. And as we update these projects, you'll notice that the above chart updates as well. You can also save these charts down if you need to for future reference. Great, and now that is saved to your computer. From here, you can also add new projects if you need to, but now we'll just move on to the clients page first. On this page, you'll see a list of all your clients and just some general information for each. At the bottom, you can also add new clients if you need to, or select an existing client. When you select an existing client, you'll be toggled to the bottom of the page where you'll now see all the projects for that client. I'm just going to start by adding a new client. Great. Now that I have that client added, I'm just going to add a new project for them as well. 30-day payment terms, and we'll have an hourly fee of $100. Great. So now that is added, I'm going to go into the project page for this new added project. On this page at the top, you'll see just some general information about this project, such as which client it's for, how much you've earned, and how much hours you have worked against it. I'm going to add a couple of timesheets. And then as you update and add your hours to this, you'll notice that the above information updates as well, just to keep track of how many hours and how much you've earned for this project so far. If you ever notice that there's any errors for your timesheets, you can easily just go ahead and delete them, just like so. If this project is now complete and you're ready to invoice your client, you can also click on the Create an Invoice button below. And now now you'll see a invoice template. If all the information looks good, this provides you information, your client's information, how much they owe you, and a detailed description of all your hours. You can download this invoice. And now this invoice is saved and you're ready to send that off to your client. And that is Track It. Thanks, everyone.
Nice job, Jacqueline. So one of the questions we got, what do you use for the data visualization?
I used Rechart. I found it very I looked at Rechart and another one that is created by Alibaba, but I thought the Rechart documentation was very easy to follow, and I kind of added the bells and whistles as I understood the features.
Nice. And what was your most fun making the project? What was your favorite part?
The invoice part, just seeing having it all come together. I really liked how it looked in the end. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite feature, and it was the last thing I worked on, so I'm so glad I did it.
Cherry on top. Excellent. Well, really all came together. It's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Kevin Iteralde.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Just building the suspense. It's cool.
Oh, wrong one. Can you see the screen? Awesome. Great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Iteralde. Today I'll be presenting my app, Bode. Bode is a real estate tracking app, and it keeps track of places that you visited. And it also provides some brief summaries of where those houses are, prices, and rooms and bathrooms. Some technologies I used were Ruby on the Rails backend. I had a React JavaScript front end. I used some bootstraps for the styling, some React bootstraps for styling, and web services, Amazon Web Services for authentication, which I'll actually be showing right now. Cool. So we have a simple login. We know it says email, but I'm gonna be stubborn and sign in with a username anyway. Get a little pop-up, says add email. Awesome, we fixed that. I get a little pop-up that says authentication error, which is just because I'm already signed in. Awesome, we have a little profile page and a little blurb about who I am and what I'm looking for specifically. Like most people, hopefully after this, I'd find something where I can move out and become independent. On the homepage, I have a list of different houses that I visited already. And at the bottom, a nice map with pins of all the places and locations that I've seen. We'll get back to that in a little bit. If I want to add a new listing, something that I've recently seen, I have some information that I already have saved. All right. House was big, too many rooms. 4 is just way too much for me. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna add the location. And as I add the listing, the new listing is added to the bottom of my list, as well as a new pin added on the map. On the map end, if I click on the pin specifically, I get a little info window showing me a picture of the house as well as the location, the address. And let's say I visited a house last week that I really, really enjoyed. I can't really remember the exact address. I know there was like a 5 in there, maybe like 50. I got a list of all the houses that start with that address or have a 50 in the address. And I actually really didn't like this house. I can just delete that listing so I don't have to see it anymore. And there's the list, and that's my app.
Awesome job, Kevin. I love this application. What is Zillow? I'm gonna use Abode from now on. A lot of people are saying that there are never too many rooms. You can always have a bunch of people, well, one person actually, asked, did you use a real estate API?
So I originally wanted to, however, a lot of them are paid. And after having an incident with having to pay out a good 20 bucks for calling the API way too many times, I decided to scratch that and create my own information, which is why I became a real estate tracking and not generating all real estates around.
Cool. Another person asked, how was it working with Google API? And is that the only way to save locations via longitude and latitude pins?
No, so I could save it with the address. However, for demo purposes, I wanted really specific pinpoints. I noticed with some addresses, they would jump around to like different parts of the country, and I wanted to know exactly where the pin was. So I added the longitude and latitude so it could be more demoable.
Awesome, cool. Thank you, Kevin. Next up, we have Stacy Carrillo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stacy, and today I'll be presenting my application called Nooks Bar. It's a Ruby on Rails backend and a React frontend. So I'll give you a little pitch. Are you tired of having the same old beer for lunch or dinner? Or do you want to impress your friends with a cool new beer option the next time you go to a party or gathering, after COVID, of course? If that's the case, then this is the perfect app for you. So of course, if you've never been on the website, then you can always create an account, but I actually have my own account. So I'm gonna log in with my information. And then that's going to take me to my curated beer list. And currently, since I haven't really been on this before, I don't have any beers. So I prompt the user to add beers if they want to see the curated beer list. So we're going to go to the beer menu. And here we have a very large collection of different beers with the images. Each beer also displays the likes and the dislikes, and those likes come from other users, so you can see what people tend to like and what people don't like. So maybe you can make a better educated guess on what you think you'd like. So now that I'm looking at a few of the beer options, I think November looks kind of good. It has 13 likes and 2 dislikes. So I want to read a little more about it. So I'm gonna click on the title, and it's gonna give me the tagline, a description, and also a few food pairing options that would go really well with this beer, and as well as the alcohol by volume count. And if I had tried this beer in the past and I wanted to give more feedback to other users, then I could like it if I liked it, and if I didn't, I could just dislike it. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna keep looking at some beer options. And since I don't have any, I wanna have a party and try a few beer options. So I just like the name Miss Spent Youth, so I'm gonna add that to my list. And November, I'll add that to my list too. So if we go back to save beers, here you'll see that you have your curated list. And so this is so that you can easily go back and check what beers you had saved. If you've tried it and you don't really want it to be in your curated list anymore, you could just remove it. You go back to beers and you like something a little bit more strong, then you can just filter by the AVB count. So I'm gonna start going up, and as you can see, it starts filtering through the beers, only showing you beers that are above that ABV count. If you're maybe a business owner or you have your own beer that you've created, then you can submit a beer to the website so that other people can find it and try it. So let's say I just created my own beer, named it after myself. Best beer ever. Gotta try it. And then we'll just use a random image for now. I can set the alcohol by volume. And let's say tacos, pizza, and a burger is the best option. So we're gonna submit that. And then if I look for Stacy, let's go down. Oh, I can't find it. Did I name it Stacy? Oh, should be somewhere here. Well, we'll keep going. So you can always check your information and update it if you'd like to. So I changed my email. I don't really use this email anymore, so I'm going to change it so it's easier for me to access this account. So I'm going to set a new email. I'm going to update my info, and the updated info is going to change. And so now you can log in with this new email. And since this is a virtual bar, I wanted to add a little game, like a bar game that people can play just to test their memory skills for fun. So I can go and play a card game. And right now for demo purposes, I set it for 20 seconds. Usually it's a lot longer than that. So we're gonna keep going to see if we can find a match. I think I found a match already. There you go. So if I had more time, I'd probably be able to better play this game, but I'm probably gonna lose because time's gonna run out and I won't win. So there you go. So once time runs out, or once you've found all the matches, then you're able to see your results. And you can click on that, and it'll show you the amount of times you've won the matching game and the amount of times that you lost, to let you know that you need to get your memory skills a little better. So if you want to play again, you can play again. And if you don't want to, you can just head back to the bar and go look at some more beer options. And that wraps up my project. I'll take any questions if you guys have any.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Well, obviously, you know I'm going to ask because there's lots of questions on it. You want to tell us about the styling?
So the styling is pure CSS. I made everything myself except for the modals. I used Bootstrap for that just to save myself some time to work on other features that were a little more important.
And what was your favorite part about making this?
I think the card game, I had never really built a full game like that on my own. So it was very hard planning it, but once I was able to plan it out, it was very fun building it, getting the images. I even sent out a poll on my Instagram for people to choose like the Animal Crossing characters so I could include them. Thought that was like a little fun addition.
And was that anything involving a package install, or was that all you just from scratch?
No, I built the entire game from scratch.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Well, really nice job. If you have any other questions for Stacy, please put that in the chat. I also like to see how people do after they finish the keg of Berliner Weiss and then play the game. But thank you so much, Stacy. Next up, we have Reed Watson.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reed, and my app is called Ascent. And I built it with a React front end and a Ruby on Rails backend, like most of my cohort mates. And Ascent is a rock climbing cataloging app that allows users to explore the world of rock climbing and review and favorite and save and share their rock climbing adventures. So to get started, we just log in. I've created a profile called Climber Joe and log in. So I'll first start out with the index page for all the climbs in the database. So every single climbing site is rendered in an information card that displays the rating, the name of the climb, the type of climbing it is, its difficulty and its location, and also a button that reveals any reviews that the climb might have. I think this one might have one. Yeah. And if you like any of the climbs and want to check them out, you can save them to your profile by clicking on this heart here. And now this climb, if you navigate over to your profile, you have some just like basic bio information, interests, maybe some favorite climbing memories, which you can update and save or delete entirely if you wish. And then you have these the climbs that you've saved to your profile. And the cards on your profile change in functionality slightly. If you hover over them, you'll see this black and white check mark that indicates whether the climb has been completed or not. So if you go out and complete this climb, you can mark it complete with this little menu here, get the green check, and then a review button reveals itself. So you can add a review and give it a rating out of 5 and say like, this was the best climb and maybe great views. And then that review will be immediately available in the reviews section here. So yeah, that's basically the first half of the app. The second half is I implemented a bunch of different ways you can search through the database for climbs. So you can go to the search page here, and this is just a form with 3 different categories that dynamically renders the search results with your keystrokes. So if I wanted to search by location, let's say I wanted to see all the climbs in Connecticut, for example, this will just render all of the Connecticut climbs. Another way is type. So climbing type that I enjoy is bouldering, which is where these climbs are actually pretty close to the ground and you climb without a rope, which is pretty fun. So all the bouldering climbs. And then you can even just search directly by name. So I have a favorite climb called Pegasus here. And then you can just add it directly to your profile from the search results. And then for users who might be more sort of visually oriented, there's a map feature where this renders a Google map that preloads pins for each climb in the database. And then if you click on one, let's see, I want to find one in upstate New York, like this one, Buttermilk Falls, which is an ice climb in the Catskills. And so it basically gives the same information as a regular card, and you can add it to your climbs. And then this map feature comes with some built-in stuff, which is kind of cool. You can toggle over to a satellite view if you want. You can even drag over the street view icon here, and then it'll render, you know, where the climbing. I think this is where like the climbing campground is, which is kind of cool. And yeah, I think the last thing I'll show is actually this is the homepage of the app, and it just gives some like fun like information. There's a image carousel with all the different climbs and the top 20 rated climbs, and then some some featured reviews that other users have submitted. And yeah, once you're done, you just log out, and that's my app. I'll take any questions if there are any. Thanks, guys.
Good job, Reed. I love all of the functionalities, and I can definitely see climbers using this application. Along the same line, what did you find the most difficult to implement, and how did you learn to navigate that?
The most difficult part was actually some of the back end stuff. My user models were kind of a little bit tough to figure out. I had the user and the climber connected with a join table, but then I also have reviews that also deal with both the user and the climb. So navigating that and trying to keep my single source of truth was pretty difficult, actually.
Awesome, nicely done. Thank you so much, Reed. Next up, we have David Kim.
Hey guys, my name is David Kim, and for you guys, I just have a simple calorie tracking app. So once you go to the app, we would start by logging in, and once you log in, it takes you to the home page. I just chose Elon Musk because I don't know, Tesla's doing really well. And once you go to the home page, you can select a certain date to see the consumptions there. Like here to Elon ate 1,762 calories, and that's what he ate to this day. And if we want to see what we ate today, we could do that too, and it's right here. And if Elon's still feeling hungry, even though he ate a decent amount today, we could add a meal for this date. So we could search for food or like see, like pick it from here, but I want to do like pulled pork and Mexican pulled pork comes up, and I'll do 1 serving in the today. And then after we create it, it's just gonna be right here on the bottom. And let's say if Elon messed up and he didn't eat Mexican crock pot pulled pork, he could update the food here. He can change it to sirloin gyros, and update the servings there. And the total should also be reflected, so Elon can track what he's eating every day. And if he doesn't like what he just put in, he could obviously delete the food as well. So yeah, there's that. And the other feature that my app has is, so if Elon decided to, he wants to look for a certain dish and just look at the information about it, it's over here. It has all the information. And if there's a dish or something like, I don't know, the Popeye sandwich craze that he wants to add to his list of dishes, we could do Popeye's chicken sandwich in the URL. This would be calories, so I'm just gonna put 600, 30, that's a lot of protein, but 20 and 40, okay. And if we go here, it should be there, and we could see that the Popeye chicken sandwich is added there, and we could also add it to our consumptions here. And that's basically my app. Thanks, guys.
Nice job, David. We have a question. 1 second. Did you, where'd you get your calorie information from? Was it seeded? Did you use an API?
I used a nutrition API. It was the highest rated nutrition. I forgot what exactly it was called, but it was the highest rated nutrition API on Rapid API.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
What's next for the app? What's something you'd like to add?
I wanted to implement auth, but I didn't have time for that. And I also really want to implement charts so the user can like see a representation of the calorie counts, and also maybe add like the carbs and proteins and fats, because I also have that information available.
Nice, yeah, off. And what was your favorite part about making the app?
I don't know. I felt like I was genuinely interested because I wanted to do something that I would personally use. And like Nick said, a lot of us aren't working out, and I've been gaining weight because I stopped gymming completely. So one thing I try to do is eat less at least, and that's not really working out for me, but maybe this app will help or something like it.
No, I love it. Just actually making an app for a particular relevant purpose for right now, what we're all going through. So thank you so much. If you have any more questions for David, please throw them in the chat. Next up, we have Seji Kanagi.
Seji, I think you're muted.
Yep, I am. Sorry.
Had to happen to one of us.
Sorry about that. Okay, great. So first off, I wanted to say thanks to my mentors and peers at Flatiron School. None of this would have been possible without any of y'all. This also wouldn't have been possible without the support of my family and my partner. So again, my name is Seji. My application name is Course Caddy. I use a Ruby on Rails API backend and a React JavaScript frontend. And I styled with semantic UI and CSS. So a little bit of background: as a New York City resident and avid golfer, I know how important time and money is. So the idea for this app was to fulfill 3 needs for the metropolitan area golfer and golf courses. Those needs were to streamline the process in which golfers are set out onto the course to save time. 2, to increase revenues for golf course businesses by creating an online store. And 3, to create a contactless pro shop to ensure the health of employees during these trying times. So we're going to go ahead and log in. And here we are taken to the user profile page where we can see, their user information and some of their golf average scores. And since we are in New York City, we're going to check out our New York City golf courses. And here we have a list that is put out for us, which shows, all the different golf courses in the different boroughs in New York City area. So I'm going to go to my home course, which is Van Cortlandt Park Golf Course. And here we see that we have their pro shop basically made available to us online virtually. So when we're on our way to the golf course, we're able to, pop this up on our phone and grab this, and this would save us our time and the need to go inside of the establishment. So I haven't played in a while because it's winter, so I'm going to add a lesson here, some golf balls because I lose plenty of them, and some tees for sure. Getting ready to celebrate a little bit, hopefully tonight. So we're gonna add some beers, and we are a little hungry. And I think that's good for the time being. I'm gonna go to my cart and I'm gonna see if those items are in there. And wow, that's a big total. But you know what? I did forget to add some candy. So I'm gonna go back to my cart and I see that my candy's added, and okay, that's a lot. So I'm just, I'm gonna go without the food. And we see that the cart total changes. Now I'm ready to check out for my items at this pro shop. So I'm going to check out. We see that we get an order number and that we're ready to pick those items up without any contact, straight at the course, and we're ready to go play and have some fun. And we see that we're taken back to the homepage, and we can now log out. Thank you. That is the presentation for my app.
Awesome job, Seji. I love the concept behind your application. I can definitely see golf courses implementing this and utilizing this application. So along the same line, what is your favorite, not along the same line, but what is your favorite part of this application?
The thing that I really enjoyed most about the application was the kind of like real life use. During these like COVID times, like when I'm an avid golfer, right? Every time I'd go to the course, there'd be people standing outside, which that in itself is a health hazard because they were kind of grouped around. Workers were overwhelmed, and not only that, because people could not enter into the pro shop, they're not able to make sales and in the end make money. So just knowing that this could be like a real life use of an application, I think that's kind of drove the idea, and that really kind of like kept me focused and really excited about continuing this project.
Very cool. Next up, thank you so much, Seji. Next up, we have Brian Moon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Moon. The app that I made is called Perfect Playlist. It was built with a Rails backend and a React frontend. And the purpose of the app is to allow a user to have some more control over how a playlist is generated on their Spotify account, and to kind of make the act of like discovering new artists interactive and kind of fun. So with that, let's get started. Just click on this button to log in, and it should redirect you to an OAuth page where you log in with your Spotify account. So we can agree to these terms here, and then you're directed to a homepage here. On this homepage, you can either start a playlist build with a recommended item. So it'll pull the, I guess, like top rated items from your profile and list them here, or you can just start by searching for an artist. So let's see, let's search for an artist and start like that. We'll go with MF Doom, RIP. And we can click on an option and it'll bring you to this page here. So this is pretty much where the main functionality lies within the app. You're brought to this like discovery page. And on this page, you can interact with all the images that you see here by mousing over, and you'll be able to hear a preview from that artist. So if I mouse over here, you can hear some of their, their top track. And if you mouse over like albums or singles down here, then it'll preview a random track from that album. And as you can see, the playlist build has been started here on the left side with the first selection. I'm going to quickly rename this playlist RIP MF Doom, and it'll update it like that. And yeah, you can add seeds to your build here by clicking on an item and clicking this add over here. The way that this works is that if you add a track, then the tracks will be guaranteed to show up in the playlist afterwards. But if you add an artist or an album, then it'll kind of find related artists and albums based on your selection. As you can see also, once you've navigated to another artist or album's profile page, then this back button shows up, and you can navigate back if you don't like any of the related items here on this page. And you can also interact with your profile by saving albums to your profile, or if you want to know more about this album or see it in the Spotify UI, then you can click here and it'll open it up in a new tab, and you can listen to the album fully from here. So let's continue by adding some more items. Let's see, we'll go with Quasimodo. That's pretty good. We'll add him in. And similarly here on an artist page, you can follow an artist. So if I click follow, you'll get the notification. And we can see when we open up on Spotify that we are following Quasimodo now. So yeah, you can continue this process for as long as you'd like and discover new music as you go. And when you're ready to generate a playlist, you can come over here, click on this button, and we can kind of tweak the settings. So I can add a description for this playlist, RIP. We can tweak whether it's public or collaborative. We'll make it a public playlist. And we have some parameters here that we can mess with to kind of dictate like the style of tracks that will be generated from here. So let's go with like high energy tracks, and let's go with more instrumental tracks. So we'll keep the mood down and make it a little bit longer, maybe like 50 tracks here. So once you're ready and you like the settings that you've inputted, then you can hit preview here, and a preview will be generated on this side where you can similarly mouse over to hear a preview of the track if a preview exists. And if there's something that you don't like in it, then you can just go in and delete it and make sure that it's to your liking before you publish it. So I'm liking the way this looks. We'll go ahead and hit publish. And once you hit publish, you can come over to your Spotify and see that it's been published in real time here. A nice thing that I added in was also being able to kind of go back to other builds that you may have been working on. So let's say there's a build that you didn't quite finish and you want to go back to it, then you can come over here to a view of all the builds that you started. And you can click on edit this build and it'll bring you back to the last selection that you had been viewing while putting together this build. And everything works the same way. You can navigate back, you can go back to your playlist here, or you can just simply delete it if you don't like it, and you'll be navigated back here to this homepage. And yeah, oh yeah, there's also this view. So if you've published a build, then you'll see this like external Spotify link show up, and you can go in here and see the playlist that had been generated from your selections in this build. And that's pretty much the app there. Yeah, thanks guys.
Nice job, Brian. You want to tell us a little about what it was like using music with React, and if there's any difficulties that came up when you're trying to get that to play?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the most challenging part putting this together was dealing with like a lot of asynchronous functions firing off at the same time and maintaining that. With audio too, when you create new instances of audio, it's actually an asynchronous function that returns a promise. So something I learned along the way, and rendering them efficiently was definitely a real challenge. But I got it working luckily, but it was really fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, definitely a lot more questions coming in about the app. If you want to throw those in the Q&A or the main chat for Brian, thank you so much. Next up, we have Anthony Jimenez.
Hi, everyone. So my application is called JHood. It is an online stock market exchange. It was built with React on the front end and a Ruby's on Rail API. So I'm just going to jump right into the actual functionality. So we're going to head to the dashboard. And from here, we have a few different ways in which we can learn about new stocks that we aren't currently invested in. So the populars tag, popular stocks, and up and coming stocks are all dynamically generated based on certain data, like how many stocks exist for a tag and how much market cap a stock has, coupled with its daily return. So let's start by exploring a tag that's definitely going to be popular. So software publishers. And from here, let's find the one with the largest market cap. So that is Alibaba. So 1 second, my Zoom. Okay. So from here, we're going to buy one share. And let's check out one of the other tags that also is related to Alibaba, like retail trade. And now we'll take the biggest gainer on the day, which is another Chinese company, JD.com. Okay, awesome. So now we've purchased two stocks and we're going to head back to the dashboard. And this time, see, I don't like any of these popular stocks. So let's refresh and see if we get something else. Okay, sure, Adobe. So we'll buy one Adobe stock as well. And now from here, none of these stocks are really what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to search for Chewy. Take one of these stocks as well. And finally, I want to be careful of how much money I have left. Okay, $83. So let's look for stocks that are a bit cheaper. We'll view all the stocks that are in my API, and we'll go by price. Okay, let's pick up GameStop. One share of GameStop. And now if we were to head to any of these tags, we'll see that it is aware of the fact that we've purchased this stock and how many shares we currently own. And if we head to our account, we have a different table that displays how many shares you own, the current price, the average cost, symbol, and company name. So the last thing to do here is just to cash out. So let's start selling a few of our shares. We'll hold on to some of them for sure. So one last thing that I had forgot to mention up until now is that the company info is displayed for each stock. So here we have the sector, the address, CEO, and the website, so that you can do more independent research. And not all of the API responses have the same company info. So I had to render it dynamically based on what was available. So here in Chewy, we see that there's a description and sector, but no CEO. And I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Awesome, very nicely done, Anthony. I love all of the functions and show pages. What was your favorite part of this application?
My favorite part was like there are some unique challenges that come with doing something like this in particular, because like when you're posting new entries, you're not making a new like post or something. It has to be very specific to the information that you already have. So you're like grabbing the current price and you're making an entry that's just kind of like in addition to what the API is providing. So the biggest challenge was just the specific nature of what I was doing and trying to find ways to achieve CRUD that was like intuitive while also working with like the API that I had.
Cool, thank you so much, Anthony. Next up, we have Casey Bevins.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Casey Bivens, and my app is Trash Tracker. I want to start by thanking my friends, family who've supported me, and all of the coaches and instructors throughout my time at Flatiron, as well as this amazing cohort that I was lucky to be a part of. So yeah, again, my name is Casey, and my app is Trash Tracker. It's built on a Rails backend, React on the front end, and custom CSS. So Trash Tracker challenges you to keep track of all of the waste that you produce, whether you want to challenge yourself and become more mindful of your consumption, or you're someone who practices a low waste or zero waste lifestyle and therefore keeps track of everything you can't reuse and have to toss out. This app is for you. So let's get started. Upon loading the app, it'll take you to the sign-in page. If you already have an account, like I do, I'll log in here. All right, so stylistically, I wanted a clean and simple user interface. So upon logging in, you're taken right to the form where you can log your daily trash. You can put it into category based on landfill, compost, or recycling based on how you toss your trash. And there's also like a little blurb below that explains the premise behind the application and the sort of like hopes behind it, that by challenging yourself to keep track of your trash for a day, or a week or a year, you're empowered to buy and consume in a more intentional and low impact manner. So let's log some trash. So let's just have some things that I came up with today. Let's see, so that would go to the landfill, submit it here. Let's add a few more. To be recycled. And then let's say you made lunch and the scraps you composted. So you can go to your profile and you can see all of those items here. As the page expands, they move as well. It welcomes you to the application. You can see all the waste you made. You can, let's say you actually didn't need to bring a plastic bag or take a plastic bag from the grocery store, so you can remove it here. Let's say you want to be a little bit more specific and say that, you made lunch prep for 2 people, and then you can update it. And you can also filter based on category of the trash. So if you want to kind of get an idea of, how much of your trash is going to the landfill, you can see it this way. Just for show. You can also go to your settings and change your name and email if you'd like. And continue logging more trash. That's about it for the application. At the end, you can log out and it'll take you back to the login page.
Nice.
Did anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Nice job, Casey. I love the concept. And we got some comments on the styling. You want to tell us how the styling went? Did you use any frameworks, or how do you get through that?
No, it was all, I guess, custom CSS for the logo and the little, I guess, category items. I just drew those on Excalidraw. I kind of copied and pasted so they all look the same. But yeah, the styling I just wanted to keep clean, and I made sure that it was all kind of all aligned. And I kept the background white because the logo had a white background that I like didn't have time to make transparent.
Nice. And what's the next step for your app?
The next step for my app is I started working on being able to have like some visual data, like a pie chart or something that shows the breakdown of your trash. So that's something I'd like to work on next. Potentially also, I want to look into React Native because I think that this would work best as like a mobile app.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. Creative concept, and again, very relevant to things we need right now. So thank you again. Next up, we have Brian Vicente.
All right, hello everyone. All right, so my name is Brian Vicente, and thank you all for attending the science fair. Today I'll be presenting my project called Incoming Feed. Incoming Feed is a news app that primarily focuses on top headlines. Users are able to filter the articles based on their categories and also save the articles to a favorites list. During the pandemic, I spent a lot of time watching the news, and there were moments where like I wanted to take a break and see different headlines. That inspired me to create Incoming Feed, where people can save their favorite articles, either to read them or reread them whenever they have a chance. I used, for the front end, I use React Redux. For backend, I use Rails as an API, and I use News API as the external API. And for styling, I used that all. I used vanilla CSS, I used Bootstrap, React, I used React, Semantic UI React, and yeah, so let's start. So here's my login page. You can see here I have the option to sign up or log in, but for demo purposes, I'll just go through the login route. So let's sign in. Okay, so here this is the home page. But before we continue, I would like to just quickly show the profile. So here it's just a simple card that I use for Semantic UI, where it shows the user's username and the name as well, as long as with the interest. So you have like sports and science. That was what I picked when I made my account. And when somebody creates an account, they have an option of choosing up to 3 interests as well. So let's go back to the home page. So here I have a weather widget that I use. I gathered it from an NPM package called React Weather. It's pretty easy to use. It gives you the 5-day forecast, and you can see here it gives you the current date of today with the current weather. And I had to implement the longitude and latitude coordinates for New York City in order for me to get this information. The next feature is select category. So I can filter to the articles that relate to the specific category. So instead of using pagination, I just decided to use the category. So let's say I pick sports, I can go through the sports. If I pick let's say, sorry about that, science, I can pick science. My next feature is let's say you got the pictures here. Let's say I really want to read one. I can just click here for more details, and it'll take me to that actual website. Another feature that I have is that I can, let's say if I liked it, I read it, I liked it, I can just click add to favorites. I can also go to the show page of one, and it'll give me the title, the author, and also show me the content. So now the content is limited due to the API, but again, we can just click here for more details, and the same thing will happen. It'll take you to the URL of that specific article. Also, you can just click here, add to favorite, you like it. So let's say, I read a bunch of these. So let's say, let's clear the category. Oh, another feature that I forgot I mentioned was the search by title as well. You can just search by title. So let's say I just put, whatever this or anything, it will filter through those words that have it. So that's one of those features that I like. So let's just add some of these. So let's click here, right? And so when I go to my favorites list, I will have a list of all the articles that I saved when I click on favorites. And again, I can access the article through this link here. And I can also leave a note. So let's say I read it and maybe I want to show somebody, show my mom or something. I could just say whatever, and then it'll submit. I can also edit that note. So I can go here and just put more stuff, and that's that. And the last feature is that I can just delete from my list. And that's it for my app. Thank you all for listening, and I'll be taking any questions.
Awesome job, Ryan. I love how you can be more intentional about what news you consume. So what was your favorite feature of your application?
Oof. I guess my favorite feature was the fact that I was able to reach out to the API because it's pretty difficult to navigate through an API, but I found it kind of like awesome and like just it was pretty easy to like navigate through news APIs. The documentation was pretty easy, so yeah, that was my favorite feature.
Awesome, thank you so much. Next up, we have Alicia Javier.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited to show you guys my project today. Again, my name is Alicia Javier, and the name of my app is called Antiquer. I built this app really because I'm really big on antiquing and vintage, and I wanted to build an app that was for antique collectors, like by antique collectors. So yeah, let's get started. So you come right here and you kind of see everything that the app, that is available, everybody has for sale, etc. You can take a look at anything you like. You can always search by anything specific. So let's say I am looking for anything Victorian today. And I come here, I see that there's this dress available and a tea set. I love tea, so let's take a closer look at this. Let's say, let me add this to my cart, but let me keep looking. I can also filter everything by categories. So let's say I'm also looking for maybe a nice table to put this tea set on. So let's go to furniture and see if I can find anything I like. I see here, there's a really nice coffee table. So let's take a look. All right, it's expensive, but let's go for it. That tea set needs a good table. Let's see. And anybody who knows me knows that my favorite book in the history of the world is The Great Gatsby. And I saw this rare Great Gatsby collection here, so I'm gonna go for it. And here I can go into my cart and see my items. My total is looking insane. This book is very expensive, but I really want it. So let's say, you know what, I can leave the table for later and just get the things I have now. I'm using the PayPal API that will, it allows you to go into sandbox mode. So it kind of lets you see like a real transaction. It lets you use like your card, or you can pay with PayPal. Right now I'm gonna pay with my card and go here. And once that transaction goes through, your cart will be emptied and the transaction is over. The last thing that I want to show you guys is the ability to list an item, of course, because like I said, I want this not only to be for people to buy antiques, but I want this to be here for people to sell their antiques. Any antique collector knows that, you end up with a lot of stuff in your house that you don't need. So this is a good place to sell to people that will also be very interested. So let's say I'm just gonna do a test. So this test item is gonna be just $1,000. I have a nice picture of a dress here, so I'll put it under fashion. I only have the one, and let's see, let's do this, and let's just do a test description and sell item. And then, of course, once I go into the home page, it will be here, and anybody who's interested in it can buy it. And yep, that's my app, Antiquer. Thank you so much.
Alicia, great job. Lots of comments about the styling. You want to tell us how that process went for you?
Okay, that is insane because I have like the keen styling eye of a back-end developer. So like I am not good. And I was so nervous about it, but I did custom CSS and I did Bootstrap for the nav bar, and that was about it. But yeah, thank you so much. That was a nightmare for me.
No, look great, and captured the feel and the vibe you're going for. In terms of the PayPal API, how was that working with?
It was fairly straightforward, mainly because their documentation is amazing. I used a mixture of like the API itself and an NPM that allows you to go into sandbox mode. And honestly, their documentation is incredible. I recommend it to anyone. It's very good. And also I really like the concept because when you're buying and selling antiques, it's good to have something that is reliable, sort of like not just like money exchanging hands through a reliable source, and PayPal is great at that.
You say you're working for them now, I see. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. If you have any more questions for Alicia, please put them in the chat. Next up, we have Brittany Taylor.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Brittany here. I'm sharing my screen. Cool. So this is Muse Ex Machina, which is an e-commerce app. When I was thinking of what to do, I wanted to pretty much take all the fun parts of online shopping and leave like nothing else in it as well. So here I'm gonna log in where you can see I've had some 3 orders. I'm using some active storage and auth to actually verify. So the password was very basic, but correct. Otherwise I wouldn't have gotten here. Here I was able to take a picture with my webcam that I can show you guys later. But for the meat of the app, you can see some recent purchases that I've made and some reviews I've left. Now I can walk you through kind of browsing about the super fun part. So here you'll see, these are all real items that are actually for sale on Amazon. You can look them up. These are their real prices. Obviously super high. So maybe I'll, instead of sort from like price low to high and see something that's like $20, it's a lot more reasonable. So that's, even, after kind of the other 3 orders in my basket or whatever, seems a lot more chill. So this one, I don't know, looks super cute. So I'll just go with this. There are no ratings on it, so that's a little scary, but that's fine. I love it. I'm insane about it. I'm just gonna put I don't know, like 2 in the cart. Then I add to cart. As you can see, it's been added, so I can keep shopping or preview. For the sake of presentation, I'll just go straight to the cart. Here you can see some other stuff I added when I was playing around beforehand. This crazy wedding dress, which I'll actually remove from now. And now we just have this, huge order of $1,100 for 2 dresses. Now that I have a bit more time to think about it, I'll just remove one. So that's full crud with the cart. I'll now go to checkout. So here I've actually integrated the app with Stripe API. What I love about that is I don't have to worry about holding anyone's payment information. I feel like every other year you see someone having major issues with data getting leaked. Now if that happens, that's on Stripe, not me. So I love that about this. Also using Safari, it's compatible with Apple Pay. So I don't make everyone upset with me. I'm in sandbox mode and using the fake credentials that they gave me with the API, and also using a US zip code for security. So I'm not going to pay. My favorite part, and you see that green check and your order goes through. Love it. My cart's now empty. If we were to go back, we now see 4 items instead of 3. And we see this product here that I haven't left a review for. So let's say I've had it for a couple of weeks and realize this is actually super ugly on me. Like it's just not the vibe at all. So I'm going to leave it at a super low score and submit that. And now you can see that here. And if we go back and kind of, search through, we'll see it kind of like updated for like everyone else to see as well. For its like average rating, because right now it's both me. So sorry to Bashanishka. So that's all the kind of core functionality. After that, we can kind of log out. This is a super, I don't know, what do you call it? Like exclusive experience. So if you're not logged in, you can't see anything. And here you can see all the kind of stuff going on, and also how I have React webcam. So I can kind of like take a picture or like add a picture when I'm doing stuff, and then kind of do that all over again. That's a very awkward picture, but yeah. So that is Muse Ex Machina.
Awesome job, Brittany. I love this. What was the process of building your application like?
So I originally, because I really wanted kind of being able to use the webcam to be a bit part of it, I started with React Native. And then specifically because I was using iOS, like just updated my laptop without thinking. And it wasn't compatible with my simulator anymore. So I ran into I lost like a whole day. So then I kind of went back to React and found a bunch of packages. A lot of the front end kind of like styling was Material UI, which is not as customizable as Semantic UI, which I overthink everything. So that was super nice for me. And I've used Stripe before. So that was also just another like fun thing I like doing. So overall was once I got the flow of checkout was really fun. I love shopping. So I like simulating buying a lot of things. So it was really fun for me.
Awesome, very cool application. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions for Brittany, please drop them in the chat. Next up, we have Brian Feldman.
Hey everyone. My app is called Booth. It's a photo booth website, if you can figure that out. It was made with Ruby on Rails backend, React front end, Redux for global state. The styling is with Semantic UI, and the photo editor primarily relies on a library called Canva. So I'm gonna log in. You'll never see that landing page again. This is TrueAuth, if that matters to you. Here are all my pictures. But before we do that, let's take a new picture. Geez. Great. Perfect. Flawless picture. So I'm gonna put a tint on that, maybe a blue filter. Great. I could add some text. Wow. Amazing. And if the spacing is a little off, you can drag this stuff around. Let me put some stickers of my dog on there. Great. And I don't know, let's add Spider-Man to the side as well. No copyright infringement intended. And you can put some squiggles on it. So we'll add a little sun in the corner. What else? Maybe I don't know, I'll give myself a funny mustache. Great. And there's an undo button if you mess something up. Cool. And you can download the picture if you want. So there it is. And if you have an account, you can save it to your profile. There it is right there. These are all of the pictures I've taken for testing. I'm not wild about this one I took an hour ago, so let me delete that. It's gone forever, thank God. And you can create an album if you want. So this is my demo album. Yeah, I'll give it something better. Fun memories, great. And I'll throw some pictures in there. All these fun memories of mine. Save the album. There it is, fun memories. Cool. And I can also leave comments and check out comments. So here are some comments that other people have left. My dog told me to delete this photo, which is a little rude. I'm gonna go check out what's going on with her. I'm gonna leave a comment. Hi, Catherine. But let's say, Catherine's not wild about me stalking her online. She can go over to her settings. She can make her profile private, and she can change her username. So now she can see her pics, but as you can see, I cannot. So that's a fun little tweak there. What else? That's about it. If you're interested in trying it out, I've deployed it at this URL. So if you just go to demo.feldman.cool, you can mess around with it yourself. Thank you.
Awesome. Love that you deployed it. What was it like working with both, the selfie and also being able to edit the photo?
I mean, that was sort of like the central feature of my app. So I wanted to get that done first. And Canva, the library I used for the editor, makes it pretty easy. And for capturing the webcam picture, there's a library called React Webcam. that also is pretty plug and play. So, it took a day or two to sort of learn the ropes, but then it was pretty easy to mess with.
Nice. And what's the next step for your app?
Good question.
Or is it
I guess basic social networking features like a feed or discoverability, so that you don't have to know a username to find their profile. But I feel pretty good about the features that are in it so far.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely a complete app. Really, really great work with that. If you have any more questions for Brian, please throw them in the chat. And last, but certainly not least, Greg Wright.
Hello, everybody. My app is called North Atlantic Fishing Journal. I created it with a Rails backend, a React front end, and then I use Bootstrap for styling. North Atlantic Fishing Journal is an app for fishermen, an app for fishermen to kind of log and keep track of all their catches and just any pertinent data that they might want to kind of have on their different catches. So let's log in and have a look. So the app is basically based around this map, or it is based around this map. You keep track of your catches through different markers on the map. But before we get into that, let's have a look at the nav bar really quickly. So using the Google API, the map itself is kind of set like this, but you can also utilize satellite, which can be nice if you kind of want to zero in on some terrain that might be kind of hard to traverse or whatever when you're getting to a fishing spot. If you want to search for species that are in the North Atlantic, you have that ability as well. You could either just scroll through and look at different species if you're just kind of curious about different stuff, or if you want to kind of get to the meat of it, you can just kind of search. So if I want to find a shark, I could easily do that. If you wanted to find a particular fish, you could do that as well. I'm a big fan of fishing for bluefish, so I'm going to actually add this to my species, which leads me to my next feature, which is the saved species feature. So since I've added bluefish, I can go into here and quickly access this species for any of the details that and information that might come along with this card. Next up, we have the different markers that you can leave. So you can click on a marker and that will save different data on things that you found at that marker. So at this place, that's beach in front of the 3 rounds, I found an eastern oyster and I left a note, I left a moon phase. If I decided that, this isn't very important, I can also just delete this. And then if the card is empty, I might as well just delete that as well too. And so I have a couple different markers with different fish on them. I can also go ahead and add a fish pin if I'd like. So I can go into here, last one title, I'm going to call this docs. Let's say I caught a haddock here. I'll just say it was today because, I wasn't very busy at all. The tide was low, full moon. And if I submit that, you'll see that this pin has been added. Also up in here is the moon cycle. If you're not a very seasoned fisherman, then you might not know that the moon actually can play a big part in the different species that are kind of roaming around and when to target them. So I thought it would be a neat feature to kind of always have the current moon cycle available so that, especially if you're adding a new entry, you can easily reference that and kind of use that to your, needs. So yeah, that is my app. And I'm just going to log out and thank you all very much. If you have any questions, feel free to get at me.
Awesome job, Greg. Nicely done. I can definitely see people using this application. It feels like a journal, but for fishing photos. What was the process like building this application for you?
I mean, it all kind of had to, like, if I couldn't get the map working, then the whole thing would have fallen through. So it was really, that was the most important part. And so once I got that going, it kind of, it was pretty smooth sailing from there. But yeah, that was kind of the crux of the whole app for sure.
Was implementing the map difficult?
I mean, initially I think it was intimidating, but you know, after, I think it took me about a day to get it up and running, but once it was going, it was pretty easy to understand. Google does a great job with their documentation as far as like how to set it up, so it wasn't so bad.
Awesome. If you have any more questions for Greg, please leave them in chat, or when he drops his LinkedIn link, definitely feel free to connect and reach out.
Awesome. I think that's a wrap, y'all. Way to go. Let's give one more Zoom round of applause for our software engineering students who are graduating tomorrow. You know, you're going to hear this a lot over the next 24 hours, but we're all super excited for y'all. We're so proud of all the hard work you put in. And we're so excited to see what's next. So I will be kind of sharing the recording to this on Slack tomorrow. So if you came in late, you'll be able to check out all of the earlier projects. And yeah, Chase, Annie, have any final words for this group tonight?
Just want to say I'm so blown away and proud of all of you. I mean, like, all of you brought it, and you know, I've been chatting with some of you after, and you know, some of you said I was nervous. It didn't show. No, I mean, you all did such an amazing job today, and I'm glad this was such an amazing way to cap off an intense 15 weeks. You all just did such amazing work, and what I'd love to see too was just the range of creativity we saw. There was no app that was like any other. So it's really cool to see it all come together and see you all support each other as well. Really nice job.
I also just want to reiterate what everyone has been saying. Very nicely done, y'all. You all did fantastic with your presentations. Definitely give yourselves a pat on the back for a job well done. And thank you to everyone who were able to attend and check out these amazing projects. These developers are on the job market now, so definitely connect with them, reach out, ask them any questions you want. They are pros.
Get them while they're hot.
Yeah, get them while they're hot.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining, for sticking with us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night, y'all.